my gosh. I'm so hungry. Welcome to today's video. I'll be talking about my tips for people who are just getting into writing or are just very new to writing. First, I'd like to say thank you for 100 subscribers. That's just really cool that I have a small writing community. I really appreciate that, so thank you. Okay, and on a side note, I will be sharing like how many pages or words I usually have in a chapter and how long my books are, because I have a bunch of people ask me this. But that leads up to one of my first tips that I have. Hold on, the cat needs to go out. That leads up to my first tip, which is do not worry about your page count or your word count or how many pages or how long it is. Don't worry about that right now. You can have a set goal in mind that you might want to have, but I wouldn't really worry about that. Just get your first draft written without worrying about page count. Don't edit while you're writing your first draft. Editing is for after you've finished. You can go back through and tweak everything you want. You can rewrite the whole book if you want, which sounds like a lot of work, but I think I might have to do that because I think I messed mine up. Write your first draft, or you can go through and edit it, or you can write a second draft if you feel like you need to. If there's just too many errors, you can go through and write a second draft. I've honestly never written a second draft. But that leads me to my second point, which is outlining. You need to outline your book. That is going to help you so much. That is so you don't have to write a second draft, and that is going to help you know what's at the end of your book so you don't get writer's block, and so you can just keep writing and get your first draft done. Getting your first draft done is probably one of the hardest parts of writing a book. Most people do not get past the first draft and never finish their book. Outlining is the secret to finishing this. Just outline your book, and you're going to get past a lot of people who never finish their first draft if you outline your book first. And with outlining, my hair is annoying right now. And when you're outlining, think up the reason you have for writing your book, the theme, the message that your book is going to give to your reader. And that is going to really help you with outlining and finishing your book, because you have a reason for writing this. You have something that you want to tell people, and you can do that through your book. My third tip is don't worry if your book is similar to something that has already been written. There are so many books in the world, you're not going to get a perfectly unique book. That's why we have tropes that exist and genres. Like, your book is going to come in classified as some of that stuff. Either way, and it's going to be similar to something that's already been written. But you have your own way of telling it. You have your own theme to it. You have your own unique writing style, and no one can tell that story like you can. So don't worry if it's similar to something that's already been written. Write it anyways. And my last tip is to have beta readers. And beta readers are people who you trust to give you honest advice on your book after you finish it. So finish your first draft, edit it yourself, and then give it to a few people you trust. I have a few friends, I have my parents, and they beta read for me, and they do an excellent job and catch things that I would never catch because I wrote it. I know what it's supposed to say, so that's how I read it. They don't know what it's supposed to say, so they have no idea what I'm talking about. And so they're like, you gotta fix this. I don't know what you're talking about. And that is why you have beta readers. So even though it's really scary to have someone else read your book, if there's someone you trust, then they're not going to do anything to hurt you. They're just going to try and help you so that you can write the book you've always wanted to write. Oh, so now those are my tips. So now I'm going to show you what my page count is for like chapter wise and then like whole entire book wise. Okay, so I'm going to look right now. So also when you're writing your first book, when you're setting it up in like Google Docs or Word, you don't want normal page sizes. That is not going to be your final product. When you have a book, like, this is my book. This is not the size of, like, printer paper, right? This is, like, normal book size. So set your book size to, sorry guys, you're gonna see all of my mess now. More water. You're gonna want to set it to like a 5x8 page size. So that is gonna be in your layout setting. So if you find layout, then you're gonna find page size, and then you can set it to like a 5x8 or something similar to that, 6x9. Those are all very, very popular page settings. So yeah, this is how you get to that page size. And then the normal font size is going to be around like 12. There's going to be a little next to your bar that shows you what your font is. There's going to be your font size as a little number, and it's usually going to be at like 12. And you want to make sure your font for your just writing is persistent. And then your chapter headings differ between the book and your preference. You can really make that whatever size you want. Okay. So one chapter, my first chapter is like 13 pages, and that is around 2,100 words is what one chapter is for me. That's probably shorter compared to like some other books, but that is just how I do it. And remember, it is quality, not quantity. Who wants to read a 3 trillion word book that is absolute garbage just because it's 3,000 words? That's not how it works. If there's a really, really famous book, for example,
2,000 years later,
Of Mice and Men. This is a super duper small book, but it is extremely popular, I guess, in a lot of schools. It's a good book, and it's won the Nobel Prize. It's quality, not quantity. Okay, so that is my chapters. My entire book is 279 pages long, and it is 53,000 words. It is going to be different for everybody, so don't worry about any of that stuff. You can set a goal if you want to, but I wouldn't worry about that until you're in like your editing phase. And so yeah, that is my novels, and that is my advice for you today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.